What's up, guys? So we're gonna go through this cold case. To me, it's not a cold case. I'll explain why as we get further into it. They know who did it and covered this shit up. That's what fucking happened. 100%. That's what happened in this case. So Tyra went missing in on 9/20/1988, missing from New Mexico, and then her date of birth was 1969, and then her 120 pounds, brown hair, green eyes, scar on right shoulder and scar on her calf, birthmark on the back of her leg, lazy eye, and a cowlick on right temple, pierced ears. Uh, this says the FBI. It's been 30 years, and the FBI has not given up hope and has not stopped investigating this horrific case. Do you know where Tyra is? A reward of 20K has just been announced. 100% the FBI knows what happened in this case also and are covering this shit up too, in my opinion. Like, that's just my opinion. We're going to get into it. You guys are going to figure out what I mean. Tyra, born February 28, 1969, is an American woman who disappeared near her home in Belen, New Mexico on September 20th, 1988. She is widely believed to have been kidnapped. Yes, that's what happened. For a fact. Here's another missing poster of her with a little bit of a different picture. This is the picture that everybody's showing of her right here. This is what she would look like 30 to 40 years older. So, if she was still alive, which I do not believe she is, like, I'll get more into that here in a minute. This is what she used to look like when she was younger. This is what they believe she would look like now. So, this is the picture that everybody is making a big deal about. They're saying that picture, which was found in Florida, not in New Mexico, in Florida, is her. I just, like, if you zoom back and forth between these two pictures, they're not the same person. They're just not. They're not the same person. And I'll explain why I know they're not the same person here in a minute. Like, when I get more into the details of the case. This is a girl that got kidnapped in Florida, and a young little boy that got kidnapped in Florida, being that's where the picture was taken. But everybody for back in the day thought that was Tara in that picture. I don't think they're the same people at all. Some people still think that was her. When I get more into the story, you might not think the same anymore. If you do think that's her, then go with that and see where it takes you. It's going to take you nowhere. Because that girl and this girl are not the same people. So, the story, like, I don't know, this part didn't make any sense. A lot of people believe the girl in the photo might be Tyra, a woman who disappeared from, okay, he's just talking about that photo also. Disappeared from her New Mexico home in 1988. This has never been confirmed. So, this is a little bit younger picture of her, it looks like here, of her. So that you can maybe assume that this girl's her. I just don't think it is. So let's get into the story of the morning of it happening. Let me read this, and then I will give you guys the story, the rundown of what happened. As her sophomore year at the University of New Mexico, Valencine began, Tara would spend every morning going on a 34-mile bike ride. On September 20th, 1988, she headed out for her daily bike ride on her mom's pink Huffy because her own bike had a flat tire. So, on the morning of this bike ride, her mother told her to carry some mace with her, and she refused to do so. Because, like, the day before, a day before or the week before, depending on if this was the weekend or not, because I don't think they did any bike rides on the weekends. So, the last time that Tyra went bike riding before this last time, She usually rides with her mother. They go 17 miles and then come back 17 miles. That makes the 32 or 34-mile uh, trip. And on this morning that she took off, she rode her mother's bike. Her mother said take some mace with her, which she refused to do. She made it the 17 miles and then was coming back. Now, the reason I know she made it the 17 miles is because there was some cow hands, like people that work with cows, that had seen her going the opposite way, like she would be going back. So she had made it to 17 miles and was going back, and they seen her that morning. And then there is two vehicles that passed her on the road and seen a truck following her very slowly at a slow speed behind her that morning also. A pickup truck, which okay. Well, let me go out of this because I thought I had a picture of the pickup truck, but apparently I didn't put it in my thing when I was making it. Okay, here's the pickup truck. So here is the type of pickup truck that they think that Tara was followed by that morning. We'll get more into this too here in a second because the person that did this, and I mean the person that did this, I'm going to tell you who it is. So this is the pickup truck that followed her that morning and had been seen by two different people on the morning that she was on her way back. Okay? So the cops, the mother was told if she wasn't back by if her daughter wasn't back by a certain time, for her mother to come find her, because later on that day she had a date with her boyfriend at the time. And after she didn't come home at the time she was supposed to come home, the mother went back out on the road in her vehicle, searched for her, and never found her both ways. And so they put out a missing thing the next day. The cops started searching for her, and they found some tire tracks that went off a dirt road. Okay, like bicycle tracks and a tire track that went off this dirt road. In this area, there was a tape found. I'm not for sure if this is actually a piece of evidence from this case, but it was similar to this. When I popped up the evidence, this picture come up. I'm not 100% this is actually the picture, but a tape was found within the area of the bike tracks going along this dirt road, where also a vehicle track was following this bike on this dirt road. And like a couple of miles away, her tape player was also found broken and in pieces. Now, I could not find a picture of that. There is to be believed that there is a picture of it. I just couldn't find it. So, this went on for a few years, became cold, and this guy, right here, this cop, his name is Reno Rivera, said that he knew what happened that day, but he couldn't tell anybody who the two people were that did this. And yes, the reason we found out there was two people, and I forgot to say this back a little bit, the second car that went by and seen her being followed by the truck said there was a vehicle following her and it had two people in it. So I forgot to mention that. This is a brand new thing to me, so covering cold cases, I might do this more often if you guys like these kind of things. So he said that he knew two potential people that were involved in this case. And he went in to say that a pickup truck followed this bike. He knows this for a fact. And this pickup truck hit this bike, knocked her off of her bike, put her in the vehicle, took the bike also, went on to her and kill her. Okay? So, this pissed off the family. Like, Tara's family, because they're like, you have the evidence, you know who did this, but for some reason, the sheriff would not tell them who it is. And we're about to find out why the sheriff would not tell who this is. So, a guy named Brown, who was either on his deathbed or was in court, I never could figure out what his whole point of the story is, why he even become a part of the story. But he left a message. So let's get back to the message. It is right. So come on, load up real quick. So Brown left a message. Did I put the wrong one in? Okay, yeah, here we go. So Brown left a message, I guess, while he was in court, or a message that he decided to do on his deathbed. I didn't catch the whole point of Brown here. But if you want to read this, I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to give you guys play by play. I'll move myself down here. If you want to pause and like zoom in on it, I'll go through it real quick so you guys can do it all if you want. So this guy says what he heard and what he believed actually happened. And Reno Rivera Jr. Yes, that's right. Reno Rivera Jr. The cop's son. That's right, the cop's son, who was apparently into drugs and a drug dealer in this town, had a crush on Tara. And Tara would never give him the time or day. Tara also had a new boyfriend. That's who she was going back home to go out with that day that she ended up disappearing. This Brown guy said that this junior kid, which is the cop's son, is the person that did this to Tara, hit her bike, took her and put her in the truck, and just disappeared and killed her. Put her in some bushes, apparently, from his story. You'll have to read his story if you want to stop and pause. I'm just giving you guys a fast overlay. Put her in some bushes. The cops were searching like crazy. They took her out of the bushes, moved her somewhere else. And then when things cooled down, they took her out of wherever it cooled down at and threw her in a lake or a pond. This cop, this Reno Rivera, which was a sheriff at the time. This guy, which was a sheriff at the time, covered up this whole story because his son was the one that did it. Now, it's still considered a cold case because they've never solved it. Even though there's plenty of proof to point to this guy's son doing it, the case has never been solved. Never. It's a cold case. It'll never be solved because this guy's never going to turn in his son for being the murderer of Tara. And he covered it up along with all the officers and people in his sheriff's department. So that's what I think actually happened. Like, I really think this guy covered it up, and that's what happened to Tara. His son and another guy, which could have been Brown, because Brown had a lot of information. He never says he was there, but he had a lot of information for somebody not being there. So probably River and Brown did something to Tara, and this guy, this cop here, this sheriff, covered that up because it was his son. If you guys want me to do more cold cases like this, please let me know, and I will try to find some more interesting ones. Because cold cases need to be talked about. People need to keep them alive so that we can figure them out. This one, I think, is pretty much a given what happened, but it will stay a cold case because, well, this guy don't have the balls to say that his son did it. But to each their own. Karma's a bitch. But on to the next video, guys. If you want to support my channel, you can do so by checking out my Facebook page, link in the description. And like I said, if you guys want to have more videos like this one, please comment below and let me know, and I will do more videos. Bye, guys.